Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. All right. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the CPSAL 2025 High School Flag Football Selection Show. First, I want to thank everyone for a wonderful, wonderful season. It's been great so far. A lot of competitive games. Three divisions. You have the Brooklyn division, Bronx division, and Manhattan division. Um, and it's been a lot of competitive games, couple of upsets. The usual teams that have a winning record. You have your defending champs who are undefeated this year, AECI. We have a couple of newcomers. You have Bay Ridge Prep, Atmosphere, Legacy Prep, a couple of newcomers. But then you have the returners like um, East Harlem Scholars, Democracy Prep Harlem, Bronx Prep, uh, who else? Lion, returning teams, Basis Brooklyn, Uncommon Collegiate, Coney Island, Unity Prep. Um, who else? You have Democracy Prep Endurance. Who else? Am I forgetting anybody? Oh, Law and Social Justice. Can't forget Law and Social Justice. Um, you know, um, just to name a few people. Dream, a returning team. So it's been a lot of good games. I want to thank all the coaches, the referees, for a great season. But we want to get to the meat and potatoes, right? We want to talk about how we selected. How did we come up with the playoff format, right? So we came up with the playoff format. We wanted to emulate, like a college style playoff format where you get selected based on your record, strength of schedule, and you could get moved to a region that you didn't play against those teams all year. So I know it makes for good football. It makes for competitive football. That's how we came up with the format for the playoffs, and that's how it's pretty much done in big leagues throughout the city. And we want our kids to get an opportunity to um, play on the same level as any other leagues. So get your pen and papers ready as we go over the seating. So we're gonna start with the South. So the way we did it, so you had four teams from each division. So that's the four teams from Brooklyn, the top four teams, the top four teams from Manhattan, and the top four teams from the Bronx made the playoffs. Then we split those 12 teams into two divisions, North and South. Um, the top two teams in the South will get a bye for the first round. The top two teams in the North will get a bye for the first round. So here we go. So let's talk about the number. Let's talk about the South. Let's go over the South. So the South, the number one seed in the South is Basis Brooklyn. Bases finished the season 6-0. Best defense in the South, giving up only 29 points for the season. Great quarterback play and one of the top receivers in the league. A very small team, but big heart and well-coached, a well-coached team. So basis, Brooklyn is the #1 seed in the South. Okay. The #2 seed comes out of the Manhattan division, East Harlem Scholars, with a 7-1 record. Their offense scored 191 points for the season and only gave up 50. They have a lot of athletes all over the field. Had a breakout season this year. And can they carry that momentum of the season into the playoffs? We'll see. The #3 seed in the South, Bay Ridge Prep. They finished the season 5-1. They have one of the top quarterbacks in the league. A lot of athletes. They made the adjustments quickly and learned the rules. And now they're balling out. A very strong #3 seed. You know, at any time they could beat any team out there. So, very strong #3 seed. The #4 seed in the South Division is Coney Island Prep. So Coney Island Prep started off slow, got it together late, got returners from last year and an experienced quarterback. And, having an experienced quarterback goes a long way. They finished the season 4-2. Right? They're the #4 seed in the South. The #5 seed in the South is Dream. Dream coming out of the Manhattan division. Dream finished the season 4-4. They have a lot of speed and playmakers, very experienced. They made it far in the playoffs last year. I think they lost to, if I'm not mistaken, to ACI, who went on to win the championship last year. And the #6 seed in the South is Uncommon Collegiate. They finished this season 3-3. They have a dynamic quarterback and a lot of athletes all over the field. What they lack in experience, their quarterback makes up for it in playmaking ability. They have a new coach this year. They're always a team that's a very strong, competitive team. Let's see if this year they could get over the hump. So that's the seeding for the South Division. Right? We'll go over it again. #1 is Basis. #2, East Harlem Scholars. The #3 seed, Bay Ridge Prep. The #4 seed, Coney Island Prep. #5, Dream. And the #6, Uncommon Collegiate. Right? That is the South Division. So now we're going to talk about the North Division. The North Division. The #1 seed is ACI, defending champions. They're 5-0-1. This past weekend, they had a tie against Law Social Justice. That's the only blemish they have on their record, but they have no losses this year. The best defense in the league, giving up 26 points. Very experienced team and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And like I said, they're the defending champs, so they know how to win. So they're the #1 seed in the North. The #2 seed, Democracy Prep Harlem, finished the season 7-1. A very high-scoring team. They scored 196 points and only gave up 50 points. They have a very good quarterback and great all-around coach team that capitalizes on mistakes. You make mistakes against them, you're gonna pay for it. So that's the #2 seed, Democracy Prep Harlem. The #3 seed, Law and Social Justice, CHSLSJ. They finished the season 4-1 and won. They're a well-coached, disciplined team. They have a dynamic wide receiver. They did last game of the season. They had a little hiccup, lost big against Bronx Prep, and that knocked them down to the #3 seed. But that's a team that you can't sleep on. That's a team that can possibly go all the way if they come out to play like they usually do. They're well coached, they're experienced, they understand the game, and they've been doing this for a while. That's the number 3 seed. Number 4, the number 4 seed is Atmosphere. Finished the season 4-2. They're newcomers to the league, the dark horse. They started off slow. Um, coming from a different league where they made it to the championship and learning our rules. But they picked it up late. They lost 2 games early, and I don't think they've lost since, And they got great coaching, very disciplined team, don't make a lot of mistakes. Motivated to get back to the championship after losing the championship in their previous league. And now they came to this league and they're motivated to get to the championship, and not only get there, they're motivated to win the championship. So that's the number 4 seed, Atmosphere. The number 5 seed, Bronx Prep, finished the season 3-3. Experienced team, have the top rusher in the league and they're one of the top pass rushing teams. They got a Mr. Do Everything player on offense, and they're great coaching, and they also have experience winning. They won our tournament a couple years ago, a spring tournament that we had. They won the championship, so they're experienced. They know how to win. This is kind of like a down year for them, but they picked it up, and look out for Bronx Prep. The number 6 seed in the North, that would be Inwood, coming out of the Manhattan division. Inwood finished 2-6. It's a rebuilding year for them. Very young team, but not a team to sleep on. They've been here before, where they were the last seed and they went on to win a championship. So don't sleep on Inwood, right? They've been here before where they've been a low seed. So, they're definitely a team to watch out for. So we're going to go over it again. So the North, the number 1 seed, AECI. The number 2 seed in the North, coming out of the Manhattan division, Democracy Prep Harlem. The number 3 seed, Law and Social Justice, a.k.a. CHS LSJ. The number 4 seed, Atmosphere. The number 5 seed, Bronx Prep. And the number 6 seed, Inwood. Right? Those are the seedings for the North and the South Division. So let's talk about the scheduling. Right? The schedule for the playoffs. So as we said, the number 1 and the number 2 seed in both the North and the South, it's a bye. Okay? Then on Friday, October 24th, Bay Ridge, number 3 Bay Ridge, takes on number 6 Uncommon Collegiate at P.O. Salgado Playground at 3:45 p.m. Right? That's Friday, October 24th, Bay Ridge Prep versus Uncommon Collegiate Uncommon Collegiate, the number 6 seed at P.O. Salgado. That is the first round. That's for the South Division. First round of the South Division. For the North Division, October 25th, the first game, we have a South Division, 2 South Division teams playing in the Bronx on Saturday, because Coney Island Prep could not play on Friday, so we made the adjustments, and they have to travel to the Bronx to play on Saturday. So at 2 p.m., Coney Island Prep, the number 4 seed, will take on the number 5 seed from the South, Dream, at Harris Park. That's Saturday at 2 p.m. Now for the North teams, the number 3 seed, CHS LSJ, Law and Social Justice, that is, at 2 p.m., they'll take on number 6 Inwood at Harris. At 3 p.m. on the 25th, the number 4 seed Atmosphere takes on the number 5 seed Bronx Prep. That should be a goodie. Should be a good game. All right. Then the second round. So the second round of the playoffs is going to be played at one location. All right. It's going to be played at one location. So all these quarterfinal games are going to be played at Harris Field in the Bronx. So everybody's going to travel to the Bronx on a Saturday to play the quarterfinals. Because the semifinals, everybody's going to travel to Brooklyn to play the semifinals. So we make it fair for everybody when it comes to traveling, right? So on Saturday, November 1st at 3 p.m., Basis Brooklyn will be playing against the lowest remaining South seed. All right. Then at 3 p.m. for the North, ACI, the number 1 seed, will be playing the lowest remaining seed from the North. And that's at 3 p.m. So Basis and ACI plays at 3 p.m. on Saturday at Harris Field. Then at 4 p.m., the number 2 seed from the South, East Harlem Scholars, will play the highest remaining seed from the South in the quarterfinals. Then also at 4 p.m., number 2 from the North, Democracy Prep Harlem, will also play the highest remaining seed from the North. Okay. Now, the semifinals. The semifinals will be in Brooklyn, and that will be on Friday, November 7th. So the first game will be the highest remaining South seed versus the lowest remaining South seed at 3:30. All right, we have to start these games earlier because as we get into November, it gets dark early. So please make arrangements to get to these games early. We are going to start on time, and we are going to finish these games, right, before it gets dark. Then at 4:30, we have the highest remaining seed from the North versus the lowest remaining seed from the North. And that game will be at 4:30. These games are at Pio Salgado Playground in Brooklyn. Okay. And then the championship game will be on Saturday, November 8th at 3:30 p.m. at McCombs Dam Park at 161st Street. All right. It's easy to get to. Everyone could get to that field, no problem. So that's Saturday, November 8th. That will be the championship game. Okay. We also are doing an all-star game this year. It's either going to be on the week of the 15th or the following Saturday, which will be the 22nd. I think it's November 22nd. We're already ordering the uniforms and everything. We will be selecting the top players to represent each division, right? It's going to be, I think, 20 players on each side. Some teams will get more representatives than others. So we're looking forward to the playoffs. We're looking forward to the championship. And like I said, once again, thank you all for a phenomenal flag football season. I will be sending out the playoff schedule to your AD, so you'll get that within the next few hours. All right. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in to CPSAL TV.